self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
I've stopped up like a bucket and very apathetic today. So
what got you apathetic? What that mean?
Because I'm sick.
But you never. So you just saying it now. When you're sick, you normally apathetic.
Yes.
This is the first time that you are verbally expressing it out loud.
Yes.
Okay. I just feel like, how much more apathetic can you really be?
We gonna find out.
Just when you sick.
We gonna find out. Also known as Calamity Red.
All right. Well, we're Conversation Con Artists, back for another fantastic episode. That's subjective, clearly, because, you know, I'm me and she is she.
I am.
But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. _on_point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question you would like for us to answer on the show, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationcarartists@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Car Artists, and send it to us that way. And we have a couple of things this week. I think we're going to start with one that we didn't read last week because we kind of gave all the spotlight to Michael because it was so much information. So we kind of didn't read this one.
No, we just forgot.
Well, that too.
It ain't one on purpose. See, this is what happened. We both get the email, and sometimes Red open them up super quick, and I don't get the notification for it. So I kind of have to go in and see, and I didn't realize that we didn't have one. I think she forgot that we had one.
Yeah, I forgot.
So sorry about that, Colin, for the response you sent that we should have talked about last week, but we didn't.
So we're going to start with him.
Y'all, what kind of BS is that? No video games? Video games are exactly what I like about my current dating situation. I'm free to be myself, and my old lady doesn't care and actually tries to at least pretend to care about my interests. Someone with that kind of criteria is going to struggle, sadly. I wish the best for her. LOL. This is in response to that laundry list of issues that a woman had that her man couldn't do.
And that she had cut down, and it was still long as fuck. And video games, no video games is on there, which I just, and I've seen or heard women say they feel like video games are for children. And to them, I'm always like, have you actually ever played one of these goddamn games? That's not the case at all. The level of skill that it takes to be able to get through some of these games, like, kiss my ass. That's not at all what that is.
And the new Mortal Kombat trailer just came out. Like, you can't sit here and continue to feed into the idea that it's for children.
Yeah.
While your grown ass is watching horror movies.
Exactly.
Scared, holding on to folks.
Yep.
But I can't play a video game that's maybe a little bit violent.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any sense. She gonna be alone because she not gonna find nobody that is gonna have all that shit on that list. And most of the shit on the list didn't even fucking matter. So whatever. I agree with you, Colin. I'm glad you got somebody. And that's the thing. You need somebody that's gonna allow you to be you. Because even if you're willing to change, we actually had a conversation about this in our group chat this week. Even if you're willing to change in the moment, you're gonna always revert back to being who you are. So like, even if she found somebody willing to pretend that they don't like video games or willing to quit playing video games, one or two things gonna happen. Either eventually a fire-ass game gonna come out and he gonna be like, fuck that, I got it now, I'm finna play these games. Or he gonna be resentful as fuck. Mm-hmm. You need to find somebody that likes who you are. And the easiest way for you to do that is for you to like who you are. If you out here don't liking shit you got going on, how the fuck you think somebody else gonna care?
Listen, the representative come out here and be like, hey, baby, it's just me and you against the world. Let's take over this thing. I'm great. I'm amazing. It might be some stuff, but don't pay attention to that now. Just me,
I always look like this.
Exactly.
Even when you come over and we just chilling, I
stay
always
fly.
Look like this.
My apartment always look this good. My car's always washed like you seen it the first time.
My hair always together. My outfit always on point. I always have my face beat.
That's the representative. But see, the representative is only here long enough for you to love that person to the point that they can become who they normally are. Now, hopefully the gap between the representative and who you get ain't that big.
Yeah.
But the representative, once he's gone, can very well be, the world ain't shit. We don't want that. We just want to stay on the couch and watch TV. Let's do that. I don't have any clean clothes. I'm sorry my apartment's a mess. I ain't washed my car since the first time we went out. Yeah, I know you know my lineup was like this, but you know, it is.
Yeah.
My barber hooked me up when we first started going out, but you get to see the real me now. Don't you love it? Like that's how it works.
Cause for sure, at some point you gonna come over to my house and I would be in sweatpants with a puff, which is the natural hair equivalent of a ponytail. My dog's gonna be running the fuck around, and probably Remy is gonna jump up on you because he's Remy and he needs to. Like at some point you gonna come over and I'm gonna be like, oh okay, he just. All right, this is what life looks like on a regular basis. Because at first, I'm protective of my dogs just in general because I've had situations where I done had put niggas out about being mean to my dogs. Because I will put your ass out. Yes, I would choose my dog over you. He loyal. The fuck are you? But, I'll kind of, I'll put them away, so that they're not a nuisance. But at some point, okay, this is what life is like with Red. It's dogs in the background.
I try to let women know those things about me that I'm perfectly fine with, that if they wouldn't be fine with, they should know immediately. Like I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the women who are listening right now feel about video games, but it's a 50-50 shoot, it seems to me, on women liking games.
Yeah.
And maybe playing them with you and hating games and thinking that you childish because of games. Like there are women that will drop your ass off for being a gamer.
Which I don't understand. It's like saying you can't, I don't know what something that women would do that a man would be like, bitch, no. I don't know what the equivalent of video games is for women. I don't know.
I have no idea. Dressing scantily for the club.
Maybe. That's not the equivalent of a activity.
Because it's something that,
yeah,
I don't know. That's probably how he got her anyway.
Yeah, because she was dressed scantily.
So you can't discriminate on that part.
Oh, Jesus. Well, you shouldn't.
You can, but you shouldn't.
But yeah. So, sorry, Colin, we didn't get to it last week. That was my bad.
I've got a plan to, like, however we can have a dual TV setup in my future home. That's what we're gonna do. Like,
y'all gonna have on headphones, or you gonna have on headphones or shit.
Xbox headphones stream straight into the headset. I can turn my TV on mute and be hearing everything through the game on my headset. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I don't want a situation where if she's not that fond of games or don't want to watch me play the game now, that she have to choose that and sacrifice, or I have to sacrifice. No, watch your Netflix show. You can turn up as loud as you want. I got my headsets. I'm fine. These are noise canceling. I don't hear nothing that's going on. If somebody break in and hit you in the back of the head, I'm in this. We both gonna die. But I'm just letting you know.
Jesus.
That's the situation. But in my head, I want that because I don't want either one of us to have to sacrifice.
You know what? I think good video games might be the same, because there are dudes that don't play video games, and so I've experienced saying that I play video games, and they're like, really? I don't know if it's because maybe I don't seem like somebody that would play video games, or if it's, I don't know. But
video game playing don't fit your profile.
Me?
Yes.
Why?
It just don't. It don't fit your profile. Your
like
personality.
Not the stay in the box.
I mean, generally, I guess when you think about women who play games, I guess there's a difference between people who play games and people who are gamers. I think you play games.
I play
you
games.
Play games.
I'm not a gamer.
Not a gamer. So, I don't know what overlap is. But you don't seem like, knowing you or what you do, you don't seem like games would fit into that.
Well, it's a lot of people that feel the same way, that are like, video games, really? Like, yeah. Like, I play what I play. I'm not, I like the genres that I like, mostly hack and slash, because I just like fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now we're going to go to Michael.
Yes. Whose letter we talked about last week, and then he had a rebuttal or a response.
Yeah. Really loved the great episode. Could probably write another book.
Oh, yeah.
Just quick, though, Bears are big, hairy, gay men.
So if you were gay, you would be a bear? Well, what's big? I get okay. Never mind.
I mean, I'm big and I'm hairy. So if I were gay, I guess I would be. Like,
Okay.
so you literally just, if you're gay and you're big and hairy, you just automatically fit into this category.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like something that men desire to be, or if like that group of men is like, I wish they'd stop calling us bears.
You know what? After he said that, so I had a professor. I don't know if you ever had him at AUM. It's probably not because you didn't do counseling. He's in the counseling department. I won't say his name because he still works there. But he had a husband who got killed, but his husband was a bear. He referred. So I think that it's a desirable. That's a desirable group of people to like a certain group. So like I don't think it's anything negative. I think it might be negative if you don't want to be considered a bear, but for the people that like bears, it's a great thing. Like there are men that look for bears specifically, I think. So like if you just,
I guess it's like women who like big men
yeah.
that are hairy, because there's women that like big men that are hairy.
So they just don't call
we
them
don't
bears.
have a name.
Yeah.
As a straight guy for that. Just
Yeah.
big dude that's hairy.
That's so funny. That
I'm very hairy though. Like
I know. Are you telling them?
I need women to love me first before they see me with my shirt off. That's how that's supposed to work.
Is your dad hairy? Is that from him? Okay.
But I have no hair on my legs.
What the fuck kind of?
No idea.
Your legs don't grow hair.
No, my legs are smoother than a lot of the girls I dated. They be like, why don't your legs? They like, do you shave your legs?
Sense, because it doesn't make
you done
sense.
seen my legs? Like,
I know, but
there's no hair.
That doesn't make
on my
any
leg.
sense considering the rest of your body, though.
I know.
What the fuck?
That's how DNA do. DNA give you crapshoot sometimes. Sometimes DNA roll you a Coca-Cola body, and sometimes it roll you a Grimace body.
That is so odd that you out here with smooth legs.
And sometimes it roll you. See, and I'm a big guy, and I look muscular like I'm a football player. I used to be a football player.
Yes.
The reality is, all my fat just allocate to the places that make me look like that. I don't work out. People think I work out all the time, but I'm small. I'm top heavy. My legs are small. My top is big, and the way my fat kind of like maneuver itself, I look like I might slam somebody.
I wanted to respond. Colin, so I posted a picture, I think on my birthday, and Colin said something about that I had been in the gym. Colin, no, I haven't. I think the weight I gained is just kind of settling, and so because it's settling into places, it's just becoming more uniform. I don't know, because I did look at that picture and I was like, oh, okay, look at this Coke bottle. It's not. I've not been to the gym. I promise you. It's just like the way everything is settling.
DNA. I don't know if any of y'all ever played Dungeons and Dragons, okay, but there are several different traits that you have to roll for. You got to roll for strength. Mm-hmm. You got to roll for intelligence. You got to roll for dexterity. You got to roll for charisma. And then you got to roll for, it's one more thing that you got to roll for. Mm-hmm. But you roll like a whole bunch of die to put together the number of it. Some rolls are just high and you get a high trait, and some rolls are just bad. I feel like some people are rolling, as far as the DNA for their body, if you don't put work in it, you just rolling ones and twos. And some people roll 19s and 20s.
I don't even, when I was up for Thanksgiving, my family, like the women in my family was like, why are you shaped like that? None of us are shaped like that. Like they're not like big, but like none of them have like a defined shape that's just kind of just there. And nobody has an ass. So I don't know if it's a recessive.
So they rolling 9s and 10s?
Yeah.
And you rolled a 17?
Yeah, some
roughly
16, yeah, somewhere
16,
in there.
17.
Yeah. And I don't, so, because I get that a lot, like, am I doing specific exercises? Like, no. I'm just lucking out with the weight gain. Like, it's just
It's
lucky.
somebody in your family's history that got that trait. Cause like
They
I said,
ain't alive right now.
I know
whoever.
that, but then, you know, that's how them DNA roll works. Like every single character trait, eye shape, hair texture, disease that's ever existed through your family's entire lineage, it's in your DNA. It could activate when you're born. It could activate. It just activate a whole bunch of different stuff. Apparently, you got a different weight transfer set than everybody else that currently exists, but it come from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where. And
your hair too. Then you say your hair is curly and ain't nobody else's.
My cousin Crystal has the same kind of texture, but me and her, hold on.
And we certain you ain't the milkman baby.
No, I'm not the milkman.
You look like
baby.
your daddy.
I like my mom. I mean,
What you get from your daddy?
My apathy, like physical. That nigga don't give a fuck about nothing.
You get the internal shit from
I got the internal shit from him. Like, no, because well, you know, in all seriously, yeah, my mom is like Susie Sunshine. You done met my mom, but you haven't met my dad. My dad is the exact opposite. My mom is all happy and go all that shit. He's not that. But physicality wise, I don't know. William looks like him, but I look like my mom's fucking twin. Like when she was this age.
Yeah, y'all do look alike.
So like, I didn't get nothing physically from him, but he my daddy.
Okay.
But my cousin Crystal, our mom, so it came from my mama's side, the hair, because my cousin Crystal, her mom and my mom are sisters. So somewhere we picked up some curly hair shit, but like nobody else has curly hair. So, because my mom went natural thinking.
She was gonna get some curls. Didn't work out.
No, she's got a fro. And I was like, I don't know.
Negro fro.
I don't know.
That was
and my dad got like a fro. William does too, but William, you hadn't seen him. William dreads down his fucking back.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hair grow fast like that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That nigga, and he still, you know, cause my dad got a full head of hair, so like he wasn't gonna. I don't think, and my dad still has a full. His hairline is not receding at all, so William's probably gonna luck out and be able to just keep his fucking dreads forever, cause it's not going. If he has my dad's hairline gene,
I
my
hope
dad
so.
still got a full head of hair.
I hope so.
Hairline, like he ain't got the George Jefferson or nothing. That nigga in his 70s, and the shit's still up there.
That's
so,
good.
yeah.
Okay. Bears are big, gay, hairy gay men.
Yes.
And Red, I totally agree with your point on not worrying about what the other woman has.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's gone maybe a little too far, and I'm happy you got the surrogate shoulder angels to help you out with that.
Yeah.
It's a shame more women don't see not getting cheated on as a reflection of themselves.
It's a shame more women.
It's a shame more women don't see
cheating on
getting cheated on
as not a reflection
on themselves.
Yeah.
I think he framed it differently than he meant it.
Yeah.
But I think he was going along with Red's perspective.
Yeah.
As that when.
Oh yeah, because I had
when
said
you get cheated on,
yeah.
that it's not a reflection of you at all. Where to a lot of women, because I was saying that's the norm, they look at that as what if I messed up?
What does she have that I don't? Yeah. And let me say this: I wanted to address this because I don't want it to seem like the Red of today has not been this way all her life. Okay, so like, especially in college, I was one of them people like that was, because again, my own insecurities were my biggest thing is. So it's like if I got cheated on with somebody that was really curvy because I was tiny, like 125 pounds tiny at 5'8", which is stupid. Like I look back at those pictures and I look anorexic to me, but I was within my body weight. That's why I don't pay no attention to them fucking the body weight mass indicator. I don't pay no attention to this shit because I feel like I look unhealthy as fuck and I was within my range of weight, healthy weight for my height. But anyway, neither here nor there. I used to question that. I used to feel like it was because I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't fun enough. So I mean, I used to be her, but eventually I feel like you just got to recognize that I was the same person as I was when he was fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Start fucking with me. So like, I didn't change. So if she was what he wanted, he should have went after that shit anyway. It had shit to do with me. So like, as I get older, I get more apathetic, maybe. Or I don't even know that it's apathetic. I just try to look at things in a more logical way. Because I feel like that's logic, right? Like, if somebody dates you, they find some value in you. And if they go cheat, that's not directly, it doesn't directly invalidate you because of that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, because it's very possible that they could have found an equal and opposing value
yeah.
in somebody else. That don't invalidate what they found in you.
Yeah. So, like, logic wise, I think I just started looking at it like in a more logical way as opposed to feeling based. And I guess that journey to get in there has made me. I don't even know if I've ever had a little angel. I think maybe, but now I do definitely. The description of them two devils is spot on because one just don't care and the other one's like fuck everything up.
You probably had a gullible angel.
What do you mean a gullible angel?
From the stories that you know talked about them dudes that, especially the high school dude that was.
Oh yeah.
Like you were like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out that he the worst type of nigga it is out there.
Had a whole goddamn baby. Yeah.
In high school, like having babies in high school is rare. So you had to have at least in the top 5 worst dude in your school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was. Yeah, so yeah, again, discernment, man. You gotta have that discernment. I didn't really have that. One, again, this goes back, and I tell my clients, my friend, I tell people all the time, like, you have got to be able to love yourself before you're gonna be able to demand that of anybody else. I had so many insecurities. I had so much low self-esteem and so many issues with myself that it was I was gravitating towards dudes like that because I was gullible, because it's like, oh, he's way above what I thought I was, and so I'm just trying to like keep on to this good feeling of me being able to attract a dude like this, not recognizing that a dude like this is shit.
Yep.
He's a dickhead.
Garbage.
So after I start appreciating myself, after my self-esteem got better, that's when I was able to have that discernment and be like, nigga, no, get the fuck out of here. No thanks. So you got to be able to love yourself. You got to be, and I mean, I know that sounds cheesy as fuck, but it's true. If you feel like you ain't shit or you feel like you ain't worth shit, what is that face? He just made a face.
I practice my faces randomly sometimes.
I cannot even explain the face I just saw. I
do that randomly sometimes.
It was crazy.
Felt it.
But it sounds cheesy and cliche, but you do like how if you don't like shit about yourself, it's gonna be so much easier for people to tear you down. Cause listen, somebody, you ain't gonna tell me shit about Red. Somebody tell me now that I'm sarcastic. Yep. And like, you know, it's not going to be something that's going to shake my whole shit because my foundation is solid. My foundation used to be built of toothpicks. And it took like nothing to shatter that shit. So if somebody said something about something they didn't like about me, it crushed me because I already didn't like me. So to Michael's point, a lot of times that happens because women are already feeling insecure or insecurity. So when dudes cheat, you gonna equate that to them insecurities you already feel. Now, if a nigga cheat on me, fuck you, nigga. Like, I was this way when you met me. I'm gonna be this way after your ass. Like, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? You decided to date me knowing that this is who I am. So why would I feel like, oh, now who I am isn't good enough and let me change and be this bitch? I can't be nobody but me. And I'm perfectly okay being me. So I think that's why there are a lot of women that don't have that, is because you kind of feed into your own insecurities. I don't give a fuck though. Like, first of all, my discernment then got so good. Like, I'm not gonna say I will never get cheated on again, but some of that little stupid shit, because it was so many humongous flashing red signs. I'm talking about billboards, like Super Bowl size signs that these niggas wasn't shit, and I ignored it. I don't do that anymore. So like, I won't say I won't ever get cheated on again, but the shit that's happened before, it won't happen again, because who I am is just not going to ignore shit like that. I don't even go out with people half the time when I see like shit that I'm like, hell no. So
Michael's dialogue continued from some things that we said to say that also ours is pronounced like the word R, with an S sound right at the end, and we
Arse.
pronounce Birmingham for some reason, as in Birmingham, not Birmingham,
Birmingham.
and Oss.
Arse.
Yeah, I hear that. And
He didn't know what the fuck we were saying.
yeah, so I asked him a question because I was interested, so I'm gonna go on with this part. What is the perception of Southern dialect and slang there? Is it like laughable? Is it like, oh, how cute? Or is it like, do we say things that you can't quite understand ever? Because I'm interested. But he said, Southern dialect is pretty legible to my ears, though I've been told by guests sometimes that they can't understand you two, as I sometimes have you playing over the radio.
Shout out
when
to
I'm
you for
washing
playing us when people are over. I think that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So yay.
And when I asked him, was there anything that he can't understand that we saying? He said, when I first started listening, I couldn't understand finna, though I took it as a contraction of fixing to. Don't know how right that is.
That's absolutely correct. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. Finna is fixing to. I'm finna go here.
Which fixing to already don't really make sense.
It doesn't. I'm about to. It actually should be I'm about to.
But I imagine that makes you a context clue champ.
Yes.
In the context that we used it, he had to be like, this is a barrier between something that you have not done and that you're about to do. So maybe it's fixing to. Don't really make sense, but I'm going to go with that. But yeah, you got that right.
On. That's exactly what it is. That's so funny.
And this is my comfort zone. When I'm talking, I say a lot of things that I know I'm saying that should be corrected. I use a lot of sentences with double negatives.
You use it more, I feel like, than I do, because you said do and fo.
Yeah, do, fo. Like I use,
and I don't say that.
I do not shy away from my Southern dialect on this podcast because I talk how I want to talk. When I'm in a meeting with some members of the school board, see, we have a different conversation. It sounds differently.
Yeah, but I don't ever say. I mean, even when I'm talking to y'all, I don't say do. It don't even feel right saying it now. Store and for.
Okay, that's an upbringing thing.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it ain't like.
Oh no!
It ain't like I'm not choosing.
Saying no. But I'm saying I wasn't saying you were choosing. I'm saying I'm also not choosing to like not do it because I don't want to.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I got a lot of the worst parts of what a Southern life already do to your language. It takes the Queen's English and like
fucks it all.
It's like Play-Doh colors. You mix them all together and it's just one color now. That's what it does to the English. So, but I can speak better if I'd like to, but I don't care when I'm on the podcast.
I'm trying to think.
Spit it out how it comes.
Around the house, yeah. My mom don't say like do and fo. She says some country shit now. So like, and I say some country shit. So I guess it just depends on what I've heard over time, what I took into my own dialect. But like, yeah, some stuff we don't say, some stuff we do, and like sometimes I haven't heard this so much recently, but I used to get people asking me where I'm from. And what the fuck you mean? Alabama, whole life. I don't get it as much now, so I guess I got more country as I got older. Don't nobody ask me this shit no more. But I used to get asked that, like where I was from.
It's people in America that can't understand this. So
yeah.
Shout out to Michael.
Good job.
Next, we have something from Colin again.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm moving across the country this week and I want to write, but I didn't forget about y'all and I'll write in once I get settled. Oh. You can read this on the show.
Where's Colin going?
I think he's moving to Seattle.
Oh. Ugh.
I think that's where he's going.
Rain. A lot of rain. A lot of depression in Seattle.
If he's moving to Seattle, it must be for a very good reason. Yeah, so congrats on your move.
The weather has an impact on people's mental health in Seattle because it's rainy a lot. So.
Also, please talk about your top 3 favorite fast food restaurants and why.
So I saw this and I was trying to think about it. Jack's. This is not in any order either because I didn't try to do like one being the highest or just Jack's because I'm probably gonna stop by there on my way home. I don't know. I don't really. Does Chinese food count as fast food?
Chinese food. No,
But it's fast and I didn't cook it.
that's not the essence of fast food.
Oh, Jack's. Ooh, Chick-fil-A. Jack's, Chick-fil-A. Those are gonna be the ones that I go to the most if I'm. Does purple onion count as fast food?
No,
Damn it.
don't nobody know what that is.
Okay. Jack's,
See,
Chick-fil-A.
that statement, don't nobody know what that is. I said that's a double negative, and I said that with a D instead of that. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean when I say that's the South did this to me.
Yeah, the South.
Yeah, exactly. South is T and H together is F already. Anytime that shows up, that's F. So
Jack's,
unapologetic.
Chick-fil-A. Where else do I go a lot? Because I'm basing it on where I go all the time. Obviously, those are the places that I like to eat.
The only
most.
Chinese fast food that counts is Panda Express.
I don't really go to Panda Express a lot. I like to go to like the little stores that ain't got chains when I get Chinese food. So even if I said any of them, y'all ain't gonna know because you're probably not gonna have them because they're not gonna have chains. Chick-fil-A, Jack's, and I don't know what else I eat a lot of. I was doing Burger King a lot. I don't know why. Because it's close to my apartment, probably. Because I could almost walk to Burger King. I don't really want to put that on there because it was just kind of a close thing. It wasn't, what would I drive out of my way to go to? Most of the places I would drive out of my way aren't fast food. I guess I don't eat as much fast food as I thought I did. You go ahead. Let me think of a third one.
Okay, so I have criteria
Of
for
course,
everything.
Of course,
you know that. So I have several different criteria by which a restaurant is my first. The first one is universality of menu. Okay, a menu that is a universality in my fast food choice is: do you have a vast number of things on the menu that I will eat? Do you have pictures of it? Have I had it before? And do I like it? Surely from universality, for me, McDonald's. Now, McDonald's has consistently declined in quality since I worked there in 2000. Consistently. I mean, they've changed the oil
I don't even
that they fry with, which has drastically changed the French fries. They have changed breads. I don't like that new artist. I don't like that artisan bread everywhere. I don't like it anywhere.
Yeah.
This is like the bread with that's shiny on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like not natural for bread. Why is it doing that? I don't like that. I don't like shiny bread. But for universality, that's McDonald's. Now, a big part of that for me is that I grew up working at McDonald's and I loved working at McDonald's. It was a great job for me. It catered to the skill set that I have. I have a good micro skill set. Like things with my hands, catching, throwing, I'm really good with that. So give me a spatula to flip stuff in a grill to put, give me burgers to wrap, give me things to put onion. I am very good with that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the project gets, the more outside of my natural skill set comes. So
did you go to McDonald's today?
No, that was from some days ago.
Okay.
So the thing that wins for McDonald's, or part of that influence for me
nostalgia.
Is not even nostalgia. I mean, well, maybe some nostalgia, but like I used to wake up in cold sweats after I was like, a Big Mac. Now go get me a Big Mac. You're like, ooh, I need some Big Mac sauce. That's what I need today.
I never liked the Big Mac. The sauce is weird.
I mean, I've tried nearly every sandwich at McDonald's with every combination. Like every burger there is with Big Mac sauce, with mayo. Mm-hmm. We used to make Big Macs with the quarter pound of meat on it. So it'd be like a double quarter Big Mac. I used to take some of the breakfast burrito stuff and get some cheese from the morning time and just make like chicken wraps. I used to do so much stuff on the grill back there. The managers used to have me cooking stuff. But that's the part that goes into my first one. The second one goes into best all around item. Like that thing that is always good when you go there consistently, no matter what. And for that one, Chick-fil-A wins because
Chick-fil-A is
Chick-fil-A is consistent when it comes to food quality. Don't know if I've ever gotten cold fries from Chick-fil-A. I never gotten a cold chicken sandwich. I might have got cold fries once, but I've never gotten a cold chicken sandwich. The chicken quality is clearly good.
The lemonade is so delicious.
The lemonade is good. So like that combo meal itself, for consistency's sake, I know it's gonna be good. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
And the last one is gonna be shakes.
Oh,
and for that is Hardee's. I get shakes from Hardee's. So Hardee's shake,
lactose
Hardee's
intolerant.
vanilla shake, fantastic. Now Jack's used to be up in my top. Jack's has gone downhill tremendously. First, they changed their meat patties for the burgers. Don't taste good anymore. Then they changed their chicken tenders because they like the size between tenders and nuggets now.
We had this discussion.
They minimized them. It pissed me off. So I'm not happy with Jack's anymore, even though their fries, to me, reign superior than everybody else. And all they are just crinkle cut fries with
What's the stuff
seasoning
on it?
salt. It gotta be seasoning salt.
Is it Lowry's?
I doubt it's Lowry's. It's not as flavorful as Lowry's.
It's good,
I think it's something
it is.
that's slightly less salty than Lowry's.
Good as fuck.
But it's good. It's good for those fries.
Arby's would be mine.
Arby's.
And it's because
Arby's is garbage to me.
Okay, so here's why I go to Arby's a lot. So we talked about this Saturday. I'm good with how I look. I'm not going to, cause like I look at Cole and I'm like, that's just seems so sad. Like not eating what you want to eat and like committing to going, cause working out's not fun to me. And so I think working out, he may actually enjoy the act of working out. I fucking don't. Okay. And so because of that, I know for a fact that ain't gonna be the way I'm gonna maintain my weight. So making like different food choices has been, and so like I like the wraps from Arby's. They have a lot of wraps that are not high in all the bullshit, but they still taste good. And I like their fries. So I've been going to Arby's a lot. Now, I was going to say Wendy's, but again, Wendy's is like one of them places I go to because I got the 4 for $4. So for lunch, if I'm broke, it's a win because I'm going to get everything I need for $4. So it's not necessarily because I really enjoy the food. It's because of the cheapness of it. But Arby's, Chick-fil-A, Jack's.
Now, yeah. I'm gonna say that I have other seasonal favorites though. Just depending on what's going on.
Oh, okay.
McDonald's fall out of my favor sometimes, like because they just not being consistent. They've changed something on their menu. They done did something different with their meat.
They fries ain't even. They used to be my favorite. Like I just
don't get me wrong.
Go to McDonald's for shit.
I'm saying that now, but I am on the edge of just being done with McDonald's, mainly because their fries are just so much more different than I remember. But last season, Crystals was my go-to.
Why? I don't understand people that like Crystal.
You don't understand what?
I don't understand people that like that shit. It's not good. The burgers are.
I like it.
Never.
I like it, but that's it.
Okay.
Every now and then, Taco Bell is not in season for me. Burger King depends on what kind of sales they got or what kind of paper I got for them.
Oh, Michael got some Lowry's. We forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah, Michael Lowry's.
Yeah. Found Lowry's in the UK. Michael is going to change your existence.
It might not.
It's so delicious.
It might not.
Why not?
I'm taking cultural considerations into account.
Yeah.
He mentioned some foods that I would not eat down
like
here.
Like eyeballs and shit.
Exactly.
No.
Like he might say, they're delicious. Just chew them and squeeze and the juice pop out.
Fuck no.
I'm not going to assume that it's going to be good because our southern taste bud acclimates us way more heavily to salt than everybody else. So it could very well be salty for you.
I don't know because he's got Asian Filipino, correct? Mm-hmm. Do they use soy sauce as much as? Because soy sauce is salty as fuck. Like you can fuck your shit up putting too much soy sauce in something. It'll be you won't be able to eat it.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Because soy sauce is salty.
I hope you like it.
I
put it on French fries.
Yeah.
I put it on popcorn too. I put it in my my
so
flour.
Versatile.
I put it in my flour when I'm getting ready to fry pork chops or chicken.
Lowry's is delicious.
So let us know how you feel about it.
Next.
And the last letter we got is going to be from Nikki.
Nikki.
Okay.
And I was excited about this one because I think people forget we're therapists, so we get to be therapists for a minute.
So, hey, y'all. I don't like wet leaves either. They don't bother me as much when I'm outside. However, if one accidentally gets in my apartment, I have to throw it away immediately. It's hard to explain. Anyways, I have a few questions. Now, along with that, I'm going to add that Cookie at SBun79 on Twitter said, yes, I don't like walking on wet leaves either. I can't distinguish it from dog poop because, you know, some people are nasty and don't pick up after their dogs. So apparently, there is a I don't fuck with leaves movement out here that nobody knew about because leaves are so inconsequential that nobody could conceptualize that people have problems with leaves. So I feel like research needs to be done to figure out who has the problems with leaves and why.
Nigga,
because it is confusing to me.
I walked from I parked at the front of your building today because it's no path to not walk on them goddamn leaves because it stormed last night and the wind was blowing and shit. It's leaves all out there. So when I parked, like where I normally park, and when I got out of the car, I was like, nope. I got in my car, drove it around the front, and walked from the front down the stairs to come to your apartment. And that's probably where the fuck I'm gonna be parking from now on until them leaves is gone.
They blow the leaves from the street over to where those rocks are, which is helpful because it helps you walk on the rocks without worry. You fill in the little gaps.
No. So I'm going to be parking at the front.
At least while they wet anyway.
Ugh. Give me the creeps.
Okay. So we got to do research. 1, I have a bad habit of trying to take on too many things or make too many changes at one time. I'm currently trying to lose weight, apply to new jobs, date, be an organizer for a social group, improve my appearance, pay off my debt, work on my mental health, and navigate being an only child of a terminally ill parent.
Jesus.
My mom has breast cancer for the second time. It's stage 4 and has spread. She can function okay, but it is not taking a noticeable toll on her body. But it has. Wait, she can function okay, but it has taken a noticeable toll on her body. I think that was it. My question is, how do you balance everything? How do you prioritize what gets handled first or not at all?
Jesus. That first of all, kudos to you because caregiver stress is a real fucking thing. Taking care of somebody that's ill, even if she's not showing a lot of physical things, her being your mom and watching her deteriorate is hard. And trying to be there and still live your life is extremely difficult. So make sure that you get taking care of yourself because caregiver stress and fatigue is a real fucking thing.
Not as supposed to be now. I'm noticing that clearly.
What?
She can function okay now, but it's taking a noticeable toll on her body.
Okay. So, yeah, make sure that you're addressing that for sure because it's hard. And I can't imagine with it being your mom that you're taking care of. Because Nick is like our age, is she? Mm-hmm. You don't expect yet to be having to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an unexpected thing. And then stage 4. So like make sure you're taking care of yourself as far as that's concerned because caregiver fatigue and stress is real.
So if I had to create a hierarchy of how to deal with things, it depends on what is congruent with your life and what's important to you as far as the things under this one. But work on my mental health needs to be at the absolute very top.
Because you're not going to be able to do none of the other
that
stuff.
hierarchy. And work on my physical health should probably be slightly above that. Those two should be synonymous. So from my perspective, working on your mental health, anything like physical health related, so losing weight or improving your appearance, that I don't know if improving your appearance is physical health, but though that I think that plays into your mental health or whatever. I mean, maintaining the image of yourself that you would like to have for whatever reason that you want to have.
I mean, I get a lot of people that ask me this question when they come in, but what I can't. I guess her question is how does she prioritize it? Because she's going to have to be the one that decides what's important. Now, mental health, physical health, you're not going to be able to do any of the other shit on your list without taking care of those things. As far as the order of importance of those other things, that's something that has to be determined by you because what would be how I would prioritize those things may be completely different between how you feel about each of those things. So, um, you kind of got to look at what is important to you right now. Which of these things is something that you is going to benefit you handling right now, where you would even be able in the future to handle the other things, because all of that shit at one time ain't gonna happen. You're gonna get overwhelmed because that's a lot. That was a long
But I
list.
can guarantee you that if you're not well physically and if you're not well mentally, you're not going to be able to even consider this. You're going to be missing some of this stuff, and the quality of how you do these things is going to be impacted.
So those two got to be first, but like the order of the rest of them, I don't know. That
and the reality is, you know, work on my mental health for some of this stuff. For me, may be a big self-care regimen. But like, as the only child of a terminally ill parent, I would say you should probably have a therapist, even if you don't see them once a week, bi-weekly. It's gonna cost money, but the level of burden that will take off of your life every time you meet, you'll find it to be worth it if you find a therapist that's valuable.
And it may or may not cost money. I don't know what your job situation is. Obviously, you have a job, because we'll talk about that later. But if you have insurance, a lot of people do not realize this. Insurance, your insurance package, depending on where you work, can come with an EAP. And EAP is where they will pay. Now, sometimes it's only so many sessions throughout the year. The EAP that I have on my insurance is unlimited sessions. They'll pay for however many through insurance, however many times I go. So I go as many times I want to. But contact your insurance provider if you have insurance. See if they have an EAP and see what the terms are, because you may not have to pay for it. If you got insurance, see if you got an EAP, because a lot of times people have it and not realize it, because it's not something that when you go and you filling out your paperwork, it ain't really something that's like pressed or promoted to you. But a lot of insurance, if you got like full coverage insurance where you got a low copay, then you probably got an EAP connected to it, and you may not have to pay anything at all. So you could be going for free and getting shit that you need. So if you have insurance, check and see if you have an EAP for sure, and you may not have to pay.
So definitely look for counseling. But another thing is a healthy self-care regimen. Self-care, which is the intentional practice of something to help you diminish your stress. Because the more that you just take care of life and don't do something to like ease that burden, like let some of the air out, let some of the steam off, for lack of a better way to put it, you're going to overexert yourself, and you're not going to have the mind space to do what you need to do. I do all the stuff I do on purpose, because what we do as counselors is we take on a lot of burden of people, and we spend 3-4 years in school and under supervision and training to learn how to get rid of that too. That's a big part of the training. Like,
you can't take it home, man.
I mean, if you're not a therapist and you've ever like let somebody keep talking to you about their problems, talking to you about their relationship problems, talking to you about the stuff they deal with, sometimes it just sits on you and you don't know what to do with it. You got to get rid of it. So for self-care, I play video games. I make candles now. I bake. For me, debating dialogue is healthy for me. I like that. So
the podcast is
self-care. The podcast is a part of my self-care. My YouTube videos is a part of my self-care, though I hadn't done one in a while.
Man, listen.
A lot of that stuff is connected to my self-care. And so you have, and I tell people, put self-care on your calendar. Whatever it is for you. If it's DIY projects, do it. If it's a night out with the girls, do it. If it's a night to read your book, do it. If it's a story you've been working on or poetry, do it. Go out to eat. Put that stuff on a calendar.
If your job is stressful, mental health days. Like, take a mental health day. You got these vacation days. If you got a job where you get paid for not being there, I schedule mental health days for myself. And absolutely do
take that day off with the plan of chilling. Like, don't take that day off and
try
do
to
a
get
whole bunch of stressful shit for 8 hours. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, this is an intentionally planned de-stressing moment. That's what self-care is. When you hear people talking about self-care, that's what they talking about. And you have to do that in order to be able to keep your sight on the other things you do.
And depending on your feelings about exercise, this would not be self-care for me. But like I said, I know some people truly enjoy exercising and working out, and it helps them manage their stress. So I mean, you may be able to combine some of these. If you enjoy going to the gym, that can be part of your self-care, and it also goes back to you taking care of your physical health. You know what I'm saying? So you might be able to combine some of this shit in a way that you'll be doing more than one thing at a time. So taking care of your physical health, but also having self-care where you, if that's something that you enjoy doing. I don't know how you feel about exercise, but.
And, you know, this was my hierarchy is not one that I tell people to be a part of, but when it comes to under that, for me, anything that is not impacting me now, but that is generating stress, I don't participate in it. For me, that's paying loans right now. Me paying $1,000 a month, which is inconsequential to the people who I owe it to what issues it creates for me now, that ain't my thing. Okay, I would just rather deal with that interest later. I'll figure it out later. And like I said, it's seeming to work in my favor now because they sending me, please pay us, please, with heavily discounted rates on the money that I owe. So it seemed to be working, but I won't say do that. And I'm just kind of being silly with the debt part, but anything that you don't have to be a part of that creates you that stress. For example, organizing for a social group, is that critical? I mean, is it critical to be an organizer of it if you like to be a part of the group? Could you just be a part of the group?
And if you can't, because like I said, what you're going to have to do is recognize what your life is, right? Your mom being sick is not something you have control over. Your need or want to take care of her is going to be something that's going to take precedence because it would for most people. If organizing that social group is going to add to the stress that you already have with something that you have to deal with, let that shit go. Because self-care means these are things that help you feel better. And so even if you enjoy being part of the group, if you have to organize and that shit is stressful, it's not self-care. It's not helping you.
Yeah. So, going on to say that if your mental health is taken care of, I think you'll be able to figure that out. Mm-hmm. If your mental health is taken care of and you don't have no physical needs, I think that is the template from which you can organize all of that stuff for yourself. When you get to a point where you can't organize stuff, you can't see straight, you're a little bit stressed, you're getting out of your schedule. You normally eat breakfast every day, but you have been eating breakfast like that. Those are indicators that something ain't right. Mm-hmm. And you need to start figuring out how to get back to that norm. And I think once you take care of that mental health component, I think it'll be relatively easy for you to see all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say relatively easy because you do have a heavy plate, but yes. I think it's going to be a lot more manageable than it is when you don't have that template.
Yep.
2, as therapists, how can you tell if relevant, or a client is making progress on a mental health journey? How do you know if you need to seek a different type of health?
Ooh, Jesus. First of all, progress is... I always tell people, I have people ask me all the time about being a therapist and I want to help people. And it's like, listen, what you got to recognize is that progress is going to be one of those things that you celebrate when it happens, but understand that it's not guaranteed because you working on somebody else's time schedule. I never look at what I do as me changing somebody's life because they changing their own goddamn life. If they not ready yet, it ain't going to happen. And so, progress is a very special thing when it happens.
And that's one of those counseling stigmas is that when you walk into the counseling room, I'm about to tell you about your life. Mm-hmm. No, if you don't open your mouth, I don't know nothing about your life. I just know what you look like.
Yep.
You are the master of dialogue. You are the leader in the room. Mm-hmm. I'm just somebody that's going to help you maybe with some perspective, help understand what your hopes and your dreams are. Mm-hmm. And when you tell me about your life, maybe I'll point out where your hopes and your dreams don't meet with what you're doing, you know, and help you find the way that you want to move forward with that. It's not me telling you about your life. It's not me trying to read you and anything. It's about me building a relationship up with you to help you understand you. And the reality is, some people that we meet aren't at a stage in which they are willing to change. Some people are at a stage where they're willing and just don't know how. And sometimes I can work with somebody for 2 years and no change take place. And I have to tell parents that. See, I work with kids, so I get that a lot more than often. And something that I've had, a hard pill that I had to swallow as a counselor, is that sometimes I'm going to get a kid, work with them for a long time, sometimes a year, and they're going to look the exact same that they left. The way I look at it is that what I'm doing is planting seeds. Just like parents. I have parents who keep telling their kids these messages and telling their kids these messages, and they be like, the kid don't get the message. They ain't doing what I'm saying doing. And I was like, tell me the message that your parents was telling you that you weren't listening to back then, but you say now. You're planting that seed. When that person is ready for that thing to grow, when their life and their environment cultivates the foundation for that growth to happen, it'll grow and it'll become their new norm. It'll become their dialogue because you've given it to them. So with counselors, that's a big part of what we do. We try to help them find out what they want. We try to help cultivate the environment in their life that they need, you know, through their own action and their own determination and their own work. And hopefully some of the input that we give them is something that'll grow at some point. We just don't have a baseline for what that look like. I'm lucky to have had maybe 5 kids reach out to me and say, I made these decisions because of some of the stuff you told me. And they graduate in college now. You know, and they didn't go to school, but they a working man with a family.
But that's 5 out of how many?
The 60 this year.
I mean,
and I've been doing this since 2010. So it's a lot of kids that come in and out, and it's hard. It's really hard to know when change is coming.
And the reality is little.
And the reality is, I don't look objectively at a person and say this person has changed. That person has to communicate. I ask that person, so from when we first started working together to now, where do you see differences at? You know, and that's not so I can get a pat on the back.
No,
I'm not concerned with what I do for me. You know, I'm concerned with what I do for the people that I work with. That's just my personality. I don't take compliments well. I don't really like that.
No, you don't.
I don't like that acknowledgement, you know, so it's just like, here it is, take it, enjoy.
Well, and the way I look at it too is that I can't take credit. If we can sit and we can have a session a week, every week, 52 weeks out of the year for 5 years. If you don't go out into the world and while you live in your life, implement the shit we talk about, nothing's going. I'm not out here doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with you making you make different decisions. You are doing that. You're making different choices for different outcomes. And so I don't even feel like I can take credit for that, because regardless of what I say, how I say it, how many times I say it, if you don't take it in and apply it, it don't work. And so if you're doing the work, I don't feel like I could take credit for that. I don't take credit for it because I ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can meet forever. If you don't actually do any of the stuff, it won't get done. And so, you know, I just don't feel like I have a right to take credit for the changes that people make, because they're the ones making the changes. Now, as far as what I deem to be progress, look, you have to take it's especially in the beginning, it's going to be little things, tiny things. You know, if I've been working with a kid who cuss folks out every time they say some shit that they don't like, if they come in and they're like, man, Miss Red, you know, such and such said this, and I was about to cuss her ass out, but I thought about you know, how you said that that's me giving them power over me because they decided how I'm gonna act. And so I ain't cuss her out. And you know what? I didn't need to cuss her out. Like shit like that. I'm gonna be like, okay, so how is that different from how you would have responded prior to? Let's have a conversation about how it's different, how it felt, how the outcomes are different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's little shit like that. It's small changes in behavior that's gonna lead to like them making bigger changes. So progress for me, if you come in and you did something different from what you normally fucking do, that's progress. Because originally you coming in doing exactly the same shit all the time. So if you making little changes, if one little teeny tiny thing I said made you in that moment decide to do something different, all right, it's progress. It means that you're at the point where you're at least willing to listen.
And with that, me saying it is 0% of how it impacted the result.
Yes.
You 100% did that shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that how you implement that stuff in your life is where the value lies, not in the person that says it or that you get it from.
And I always encourage people who, you know, because sometimes people are like, I hear people say all the time, you know, folks always, you know, telling me about their life and what their problems, and are always coming to me for advice on what to do. That does not mean that you need to be a therapist, okay? Because what you're doing is giving advice. That is not what you're going to do as a therapist. You are not going to be giving folk out here giving people advice. We do
not give advice.
Not
if
what
your
that is.
therapist gives advice, then they shouldn't be. Because if I give you advice, if I tell you how to handle a situation, that is not congruent with who you are. Mm-hmm. That's congruent with who I am. Mm-hmm. And if it fails based on what I told you to do, that's my fault. Mm-hmm. I am not trying to set myself up to have your life full of my faults.
Yep.
I want you to make the decisions that go along with what you want. And you identify what you want, and I'm going to say, well, that means that if this happens, this is how you might respond. If that happens, that's how you might respond. Which one of those seems like the way that you care to carry on with that situation? Mm-hmm. And then we can go down the rabbit hole of your life and how it came for you to be those decisions and all kind of things. But
how at the end of the day, in the past, so like, don't become a therapist because you think you're gonna change the world. You know, you might hopefully have an impact on somebody's life along the way, but thinking that you finna come in here and just fix everybody's life and shit, that you don't need to be a therapist, because that's not what it's gonna look like. You gonna have days where it's like, God damn it.
Listen, to me, the measure of being a therapist, if you like to be one, anybody who's listening, is how much patience do you have?
Yes, Lord.
What is your disposition? What is your temperament and your personality? Like, are you somebody that can listen to somebody's problems? Are you somebody that isn't easily to be read if you don't like what you're hearing?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
oh, yes.
Are you somebody that can objectively look at somebody's situation outside of your own? Because I have some people who I've worked with that they heart hurt so much for the situations that be going on that they become less effective because they become more emotional, mm-hmm. or they become more emotionally invested in the situation. Those kind of things make a difference. Some of what you experience. I work with DHR. I work with kids that at some point half of my caseload had been sexually abused. Mm-hmm. You know, like that. Some people can't hear those stories and then go work with the parent that let it happen. Mm-hmm. You know, some people can't do that. So being a therapist is more about the personality, your ability to listen and hear people, and can you enhance all of those skills that'll help you be in that field.
And it's a non-judgment zone. That's another thing. If you're somebody who are going to try to base everything on your perspective and what your life has been, this ain't the job for you. Because I have people that have grown up in environments and have experienced things that I've never experienced, will never truly be able to. So like you're gonna have to be able to separate yourself from and understand it from that person's perspective, to be able to understand it from the environment that they grew up in, and not put your own upbringing on them, because you're not going to be beneficial. And so, you know, I have had to work with parents that have done all kind of shit that if you just sit back from a judgmental standpoint, you would have a issue working with them. Or I've had I done worked with men that been to prison for murder. I done worked with a woman that went to prison for murdering her fucking child. Like, you are not going to be able to base everything on where you come from. If you somebody that is gonna have trouble with that, that's ain't the job for you.
If there is a certain type of person that could walk into your office that by default you have a problem with, you don't need to be a counselor. A trans person might walk in your office. A gay person might walk in your office. A murderer might walk in your office. A child abuser might walk in your office.
A child molester,
A
pedophile.
child molester. You have no idea what may walk in. If you have a set of things that I can't work with that person, like if you got that, then that is not going to be a situation.
And thinking you're going to do religion-based counseling and you won't have to encounter these people is wrong as hell, okay? Gay people have religion. Transgender people have religion. People who get out of jail find religion in jail. You know what I'm saying? So, like, thinking that by working in a certain place, you're going to be able to avoid this type of person. Every person on the planet can have the same fucking issue. Gay people, straight people, murderers, pedophiles, prostitutes, strippers. It don't fucking matter. Like, thinking that you can work at a certain place and avoid a population is wrong as fuck. I remember being in grad school having a lady that really had an issue with the LGBT community, and she really thought that she was gonna be able to bypass some of this shit by where she worked. And it's like, no, all of these people are going to they attend churches, they have religion. They don't not have religion because they're gay. That's not how that works. So, you know, don't think that you can cancel out a group by working at a certain place. Gay people have drug problems. Straight people have drug problems. Black folks, white folks, Hispanic. Like, you're not going to be able to avoid a whole group of people by working at a particular place.
So, as therapists, how can you tell if your client is making progress on your health journey? Now, as a client, how you tell if you're... So, as therapists, we have treatment plans. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to sign a treatment plan. Mm-hmm. And I guess some private practitioners may not be as formal enough to have treatment plans, but ideally there's a treatment plan that identifies what your issues are. There are evidence-based measures and goals that we create that we are supposed to make it to. And at some point, you got to review that to determine, are you reaching these goals?
Yes.
And that's where the client communicates, yes, I'm reaching this goal. This is what my life looks like now. That thing has changed. Mm-hmm. Now, on my treatment plan, I always have 3 goals. The top one is dealing with whatever the inherent emotion that's being impacted is. Mm-hmm. It's either anger, it's anxiety, it's depression. That's the first one. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a long-term goal. That's going to be something that's a lot more complicated to deal with. Mm-hmm. My third goal is my least difficult goal to reach, which is going to be, like, for kids, something grades related or something social related. Mm-hmm. I want to go out in the community more and do more things, or I want to gain more friends or something like that. That one, so on a list of goals, some of them are just more easy to accomplish, mm-hmm. and some of them are not. It's going to take work on you, but you're the one that's going to have to communicate to the therapist what progress looks like. There is no way a therapist can look objectively 1 meeting a week and know what's going on.
It's a collaborative effort. That's what I think you have to look at it as. This is a collaboration. Okay, it's not me being in the boss's seat, or it's not that. It's which is why clients get to see, read over, agree with, disagree with the treatment plan, because you are an active part of this. Because this is your life. It's not my life. So it's a collaborative effort. You have to kind of remember that. And because it's a collaborative effort, how that client feels is a large piece of that. Where they feel like they are, where they feel like they were, large piece of it. It's a collaboration. It is not you coming in and me telling you, I don't know how to run my own fucking life. I definitely can't tell you how to run yours.
How do you know if you need to seek a different type of health? So I am not so prideful and egotistical as a therapist that I can't say, I don't think I'm effective for you anymore. With kids, I've had some kids who have come to see me as a homeboy. Mm-hmm. And at some points I've had to tell them, because of how I communicate, that's just how it comes off for some kids. Mm-hmm. Some kids can't see me as a counselor. They see me as just this cool dude to talk to. At that point, I can let them, the parent, and everybody know that I don't think I'm effective for your child at this stage in our relationship. It'll probably be best if y'all move to another counselor. Mm-hmm. I've told adults that. So hopefully your therapist has the understanding and not this idea that I can fix everybody, that when they are not effective, that it may be time for you to move on.
Back to that idea of discernment.
On the side of the client and knowing whether you need to seek a different type of help, do you feel like change is coming? If you're doing the work and you feel like you're doing the work, you feel like you're doing what the therapist is doing, it might be possible that you look at that therapist and say, you're not effective for me. Not in an angry, you messing up type of way, but more so in a, I like to try a different brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, every therapist, we all have our own different modalities. Therapy, the idea is that if somebody uses therapy with whatever modality they got to use it consistently to work, some of that don't jive with people. Some of that don't jive with your personality. Therapists and client personalities don't get together sometimes. So sometimes it's a matter of trying a new brand of therapy versus what you've been trying.
That's what I was going to say, is that if you've had a bad experience, because I've run across a ton of people who kind of don't believe in or don't agree with or don't ascribe to like therapy because of a bad experience. What I tell folks is that what you got to remember is, especially with like K-Crep standards, we basically all get the same education. We all learn about different theories. You choose the theory that closely matches your beliefs, your personality. So the differences in therapists is not necessarily going to be the training. I mean, obviously we do, continuing ed shit, but the base education that we receive is pretty much the same. Who we are is going to determine what we bring to it that's going to be different. And so sometimes your personalities are not going to mesh well, okay? The way that I would present something to a client is probably way different. Well, I won't say way different, but more different than what Mr. On Point would do, because our personalities, I'm a super direct, super direct person, in a very respectful, very professional way.
I'm direct like Red is direct, but not until I'm certain that I've secured the level of relationship that my directness will be more potent.
Yes.
And it's not to say that immediate directness is better. Yeah. It's subjective. It's based subjective on that individual. And I feel like I can be direct with people in a certain type of way and still get through. But like, how I do it is just congruent with me. Yeah. And how she do it is congruent with her.
And so because of that, I tell people, like, I never get offended. If somebody comes to me, if you feel like I'm not the person to help you, let me know. My goal is for you to get to where you want to be in life. It's not for me to be that person that helps you get there. So if I'm not being effective, if you feel like my personality isn't one that's going to be beneficial to you, if you feel like the way that I present things isn't let me know. I do not ever get upset about that. I never take it personal, because I know who I am. And I know that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Even as a therapist, I'm not. And that's okay. My goal at the end of the day is for anybody that comes into my office to get what they need, even if that ain't getting it from me. And so I'll make referrals. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is going to be somebody out there that's going to be able to help you. And it's okay if it's not me. And so that's why referrals exist, because sometimes you ain't going to be the person. Whether you don't have enough training in that particular thing. 'Cause look, it's a lot of specialized issues out here that do require a little bit more than the baseline training that we all get in grad school. And some people specialize in certain things. And so even that might be, I might not have enough training to help you with this problem. You may need to go see somebody that specializes in this particular issue. So you just kind of have to not be ruled by your ego and feel like offended, I guess. Sometimes you're not going to be what that person needs.
And treat therapy just like a different brand or something. Like, if this brand don't work, if this therapist brand of therapy don't work for you, don't let that be an all-encompassing shunning of therapy. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's easy to happen because in our society, we are all, especially in Black culture, we are already hesitant about participating in counseling anyway. So a lot of us are looking for something to say this ain't good, so that we cannot participate in it and have a reason for it. But just like any brand of something that you try for the first time and you don't like it, there is a brand that you will like. You just got to keep fishing around for the right one.
Because if you go to your doctor and you don't like his bedside manner, you ain't going to just let your heart explode. You just find a different heart person to go to.
Exactly. Like, that's the mentality that you got to take on mental health.
Yeah. You still got to fix the issue, but if that bedside manner ain't what you need, you not going to not get your diabetes under control. Like, you're not going to let yourself die. Don't let yourself mentally die because you get upset about the person that you go. We got, I don't even know how many theories are out there now, or how it's a lot. And so because of that, whatever theory your therapist ascribes to is going to determine the way that they go about presenting therapy to you. Their theory may not be the one that works for you.
Yeah. And
somebody's that does.
Okay.
And you can ask. I mean, I don't know how helpful it would be, but you can ask them what their theory is.
Because I know your life. Trigger warning, Red. Have you worked, question number 3, have you worked at a job you hate but can't leave? I'm having the hardest time finding a job I want to that pays at least a little more than I make now. I like my coworkers, but I hate my job and feel like I'm wasting time. Okay, hold on. Go.
Girl. Jesus. Oh, Lord. We all been there. I'm there now. It's hard. It is hard to go to a job that you do not like. But, and I know you asked from a therapist perspective. I'm too close to this one.
No. Number 2 said as therapist.
Oh, okay.
This one just go.
Girl, look.
You a person now. You ain't a therapist no more. But you can put some therapists and put in if you want to.
You got bills. When I'm so serious. Like, that is what I have to tell myself. Like, I enjoy these lights. It's cold outside. I enjoy this heat. And so because of that, I'm going to keep rocking with this shit. But I think what my issue is and what I've had to, my problem that I've had is not giving up because I get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Keep putting out, you have to just keep putting out resumes, keep applying. You're going to have to just continue to do that because you're never going to get out if you quit. And my MO in the past has been to be frustrated, to just be like, fuck it, I don't give a shit more. Don't do that. That's not the thing to do. I feel like it's a job that there may be a lesson for you to learn in this job. It may be a reason why you're there. I don't know what it is. For mine, I think where I'm at, I've learned a lot about myself and a lot about the populations that I enjoy working with. And so because of that, as shitty as this place has been, the thing that has helped me is to recognize that I realize that I fucking love working with adolescents. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't been at this place. Right. So as much as you hate the job and you may like your coworkers, there might have been something that you needed to get from that place. Keep putting your feelers out there. And what I'm learning is, and I'm horrible at this. Y'all can see this from how we do the show. I am horrible at, what's the word? I'm horrible at.
No poker face.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's what you were finna get to. That's not.
No, networking. I'm shitty at networking. Oh. I'm shitty at selling myself. I've had to become good at that. When I tell you that if I hear about somebody, I went and had a whole conversation with the person that just took over DYS. Never would I have done that prior to, but at this point, I'm like, I got to get out of here. So it's forcing me out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is not networking. It's not going up to people. It's not saying what I'm doing out in the community. Like, that is not my comfort zone. But I hate this fucking job. So because of that, it's forcing me out of my comfort zone. So not only do you have to put out, it ain't a lot. These days, it's not what you know is who you know. It's so true. Don't just be out here putting out apps. Like, any networking that you can do, any way that you can get your face out there, and because like you don't want to be just a resume. I'm learning that because I feel like me sending my fucking shit out should be enough. But what I'm realizing is that when I'm at these events that I'm having to go to for work, These are networking opportunities for people to be able to put. If I send my resume, they can put a face with, oh, okay, I met her, and I talked to her, and she's a cool ass person, and she's doing a lot of things out here in the community that would be beneficial to my agency or my company. So, just remember you got bills and don't give up. That's all I got, because that's what I'm trying to do.
I've never had a job that I hated but couldn't leave, because up until February 2015, which is when I started my business, I had at least 2 jobs. The most jobs I've had at one time is 4. So it's like I could, and they were self-sustaining jobs. I could have quit one and fully funded my life off of the other one. Mm-hmm. So everywhere I was there for a reason. But I did get let go from a job at a mental health place, JBS, because of financial cuts. And so the dude who was over it was so vindictive that if you quit, he was gonna besmirch your name somehow.
That's some bullshit.
I had a friend that was working there who told him that she was leaving because she had an interview. And he was like, oh, where you trying to go? And she would not tell him, but he convinced her to tell him. Her interview got canceled. Right the next day, her interview got canceled, and she had to continue working there.
He is a dickhead. Why would you do that?
He dead now, so.
Oh, I don't feel bad.
She wins. but because they let us go and they felt so bad, they called me when a dude was taking a hiatus to the military, and I was working there, and I think they wanted to look good perceptually that they brought people back on that they had let go. So they brought me back on, even though I told them I wasn't gonna be able to do the work. I had my internship from 12 to 5. They paid me for working 8 to 11:30. I guess they just wanted that perception that they paid me to wait from 8 to 11:30. They was like, are you seeing all your families? I was like, yeah. But the job don't take that many hours to see all your families. I like, yeah, I see everybody early. I see everybody. So I was like, okay. But at a certain point, I did sit down with her and say, I'm only working this amount of time. I don't feel right taking y'all's money under this situation. I could be doing so much more if I didn't have this going on. So it'll be best for y'all to find somebody to take this place that can do more than I'm doing right now. Just
more than 8 to 11:30.
So whatever.
Yeah, that is a tough position to be in. I from a personal level feel you, but I'm just trying to take what I can from where I'm at while I'm there. And like I said, I don't know that I would have discovered the abilities that I have as far as working with kids. Because listen, when I was in grad school, I was like, fuck them kids. Like it wasn't a population that I was comfortable with. It wasn't a population that I was like, I'm going to work with kids. Like, it was never that. But through doing this, I discovered teenagers is where I do some of the best work that I do. So I have to give my job props for that, because I feel like I was able to discover that about myself. And you know what? My patience, because not cussing the motherfucker out has been hard. But I've been able to not do it because I got these bills. So like, it's allowing me to be, I'm gaining some things from it. I'm still apathetic, but I'm not as ready to shut a motherfucker down. Professionally, of course.
And make sure this is a part, if you choose to go to therapy, make sure that this is a part of the dialogue.
Yes.
Work-related stressors are very real. Woo. And if you carry the burden of that alone without any skills to help you with it, then that's just going to be adding on to that mental distress that you have. But also, the advice I got is know your parameters. Mm-hmm. Know exactly where the wiggle room at and your parameters are. Because is it something that you're not willing to do that you would if you're looking for a new job? Clearly, a strong parameter for you would be how far can you be away from your mom?
Yeah.
If you have a career, how far outside of your career are you willing to work to get that job. You know, some people, you know, just have so much tunnel vision of wanting to do certain things that don't realize that there's a lot of stuff that got overlap that might help you branch out in that, you know. But know your parameters, know where you're not willing to go, where you are willing to go, and just be persistent in searching that, you know.
And liking your coworkers, she said she do like her coworkers, so I think that helps to, because I don't like mine. That's a part. That's a major part of my stress is, but that's beneficial to you, because it could be where you hate the job and you hate your fucking coworkers, and that, my friend, is not a good place
That's
to be
the
in.
abyss.
That is the fucking abyss, because you don't even have nobody that you could like I always, in other jobs, I've always, like, if I don't like the job, I have other people that don't like the job that I can talk shit to, and it kind of, like, it don't make anything different, but we could commiserate about how fucked up this place is. I don't have that. And so that is, like, on point, get a lot of it. And our friend group get a lot of, because I don't have anybody to do that with at work, so, like, I will call him and be like, fuck this place. Fuck that bitch. And her bullshit.
Okay.
Utilize your support system.
So we have nearly had an all-letter episode that we were so hoping to have, but we do have some time. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Michael. Thank you at SBun79
Yes.
on Twitter.
So if you want to be on the show and have a whole episode almost, send us your questions to conversationconartist@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Conversation Con Artist, and send it to us that way. Very quickly, because I don't know if this is on your list.
Let's keep going. I mean, let's try to make these quick, because I mean, clearly this could have been shorter, but we do this ourselves because we talk a lot.
My birthday. I don't know if you had that. You were going to talk. Okay, well, just very quickly. So on my birthday, I turned 34. We all decided to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We live in Hoover, Alabama. And if you haven't heard, I don't know how you could have not heard, but there was a shooting Black Friday where a black military officer was. He's not in the military currently. Is he a vet?
He was in military training, but he had not completed the training.
Okay. A young black guy in military training was killed. There was a shooting at the mall. Police came. It was a whole thing. So we're sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings. We had just ordered our wings, and a group of protesters came in. This is a new experience for me because I've never been to a protest, and I definitely never been somewhere where protesters came in. So the protesters came in, and the police also came in because Hoover police, I guess, are dispatching a group of officers, and they basically just seemed like they were following the protesters around. They didn't interact with them. They kind of just stood on the sidelines, I guess, to make sure shit didn't get crazy. That was an interesting experience. I was a bit uncomfortable. Pet said he was fine, but I watched too much ID channel. So in my mind, I'm like, they're all around our table. If some shit pop off, if somebody knock over a table and the police do get involved, it's going to be fucking chaos. So I'm mostly planning my exit because that's just how my brain works. And it was just an unexpected situation.
I was fine. I put my hand up one time for a little solidarity, and I said the guy's name, said EJ, once or twice, but I was waiting on my wings.
Yeah.
I don't know the measure of my blackness and what side of the scale I moved to by not, because some people you should have got up and been a part of that. That's not what I planned.
One of the guys in the protest was like, if it was one of y'all or your family members, you shouldn't be supporting this business.
But see, that's what I think. I don't think that's where the goals of the protest organizers start to get lost in the translation of what everybody behind them is doing. Mm-hmm. The protesters had a training that trained them about how to protest appropriately. Now, I don't know what went in that, but I'm going to assume it was a responsible one, outside of an irresponsible one. If it was, there's still going to be people that didn't come to that who don't really know exactly what to do. Now, me, I support protest. As long as it's legal and you're not breaking any laws as it pertains to protesting,
and they weren't.
I support protesting, and I support you having a voice. When it gets to, the problem is my problem ain't how people view the protest from the outside looking in. My protest is how impactful it can be once you start a certain level of civil disobedience, once you start a certain level of breaking the law, if people start getting hurt, the message of the protest starts to diminish. That's why I advocate for being very careful in how you act in those protests.
Well, like I said, that's why where my discomfort came in is that you just never know what individuals are thinking within. And so, listen, it would have took one nigga knocking a table over or doing something that could have been deemed as violent or troublesome, and shit could have got crazy. That was and again, I watch way too much ID channel. So in any given situation, I'm always thinking of ways I could die. Or ways I could get hurt. So I was uncomfortable as a motherfucker. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, how would I get out of here if I needed to? Because like I said, I viewed it as a situation that could have easily gotten out of control. It didn't, thankfully. They were all very respectful. The police didn't engage, it was fine. But in my mind, I was like, but what if?
Well, I mean, and I had the knowledge, I think Carlos Chavez Jr. and Frank Matthews, I think both of them was there. And I think they've, at least at the beginning, they led a pretty,
but like I said,
pretty peaceful protest that hadn't created any harm or hurt anybody. So I was aware of that. I was aware of that when it started.
Or people that might, you know what I'm saying?
Like that dude came up and said, "Don't shop here."
Yep.
I was like, I already placed my order, brother. Like, I want my wings. And they like, leave Hoover. Why you here? And I'm like, well, I live in Hoover. So
nigga.
I really don't see myself traveling outside of the city limits to buy stuff when you can just buy stuff in your neighborhood that you live in because you happen to not live here. Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
It was just an interesting event to happen on my birthday.
Okay. I got some news stories. So let's talk about Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Kevin Hart stepping down from the Oscars because he was asked to apologize about some old
tweets from 2011.
Homophobic or anti-gay. I won't call it homophobic. I'm going to call him anti-gay.
Yeah, because he said he would break a dollhouse over his son's head if he saw him playing with dolls.
Well, I think homophobic has to come with the understanding that a person has this strong fear or aversion to the group. Yeah, I don't think we can know that about a person until we hear more. I think it's anti-gay for now until he come out with a video that say otherwise.
Yeah.
But my dialogue about that is, and I think I've said this before, I'm really not sure how. I don't know if it's I don't know how far we should go back to retroactively apply old material to new standards. I don't know, and I don't know if this is people taking advantage of the changes that we have, knowing that they can be used to manipulate our current environment, or if it's a genuine effort to change that. So let's say that the person who went to go find those tweets was a racist that didn't want Kevin Hart to host the Oscars. And he found this material and he threw it out there in effort to try to make all of this happen. Like, that's wrong to me. But if it's somebody who is an advocate for gay rights and genuinely is trying to make sure that comedians are more responsible with the material that they have out there, given a platform, and this is how it came out, that's different. But I still don't know what we should do. Same thing with Little Mermaid. Have you heard about that? Little Mermaid, the song Kiss the Girl.
Kiss the Girl.
She literally did not have the capability of consenting because she did not have a voice. Right?
Yeah.
So this gets into a different conversation about a mute person being able to consent. But if you read the lyrics, because when you watch the movie,
body language
she wants to kiss. She wants to kiss.
She leaning in and shit.
But
it's
if
obvious.
you read the lyrics outside of that context, it's very rapey. If you just go read the lyrics right now to Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid, all it say essentially is, man, if you want to kiss, just go get it.
Yeah, but but it's connected to that movie. Like,
Well, the only reason this came up is because there is a cappella group at a university who got a bunch of flack for singing that song.
But you know where it's...
Well, we know where it's from because we 30 or 14-year-old don't, because they ain't watching The Little Mermaid now.
They not. They finna make a live action version
Don't nobody go back and make kids watch movies from the 70s.
I know, but like obviously maybe they thinking we gonna go watch The Little Mermaid because they're making a live action version like they're making a live action version of Lion King, which I'm going to fucking see.
Of course. But like a lot of people don't go back and watch them old versions. I'm not saying there's a lot of kids that don't. I'm just saying this is just, listen, I'm not making an argument for whether they should or not. I'm saying how far do we go back to retroactively apply new standards to old material?
I don't know.
Same thing for Baby It's Cold Outside, the Christmas song.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird.
It's different though, because during that time it was very rapey. Women ain't had no goddamn rights when that song was written, so that is a rapey song.
Well, we still dealing with rapey men's behavior who don't ask a girl for a kiss; they just go in for it. Like that's still happening today. That's the stuff where that asking for it makes it less romantic is a dynamic that men and women have had.
I don't feel like you necessarily have to verbally, again, because I feel like with The Little Mermaid is a good example of that. It was obvious that she wanted him. Ariel wanted him to kiss her. It was very obvious. Now, if because I've been on kissed on, I received a kiss I didn't want because I've gone on first dates where somebody has like.
But have you also been kissed by somebody that you wanted to be kissed by without them asking you?
Yes. And there was
that's the problem.
But there's been a difference. No, because even when it was when I didn't ask but I wanted it, I was doing shit to let him know that it was welcomed. This other one, I was getting ready to get in the goddamn car and I turned around and bam, his mouth was there. It was like, whoa. Nothing about this date should have made you feel like I was sitting on the opposite side of the booth. I wasn't touching it. Like nothing that occurred tonight should have made you feel like this was. I'm trying to get in the car, but even finna hug this nigga. Like,
let me read these lyrics to you.
For
Kiss the Girl.
It's
listen, hold on. I'm
separate
saying
from the movie.
Wait a minute. I'm just saying. Okay. Yes. I'm just saying.
I feel like this is.
I feel like at any point in this song, there could have been an implication that she was showing you that she wanted it.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this song. This song is speaking direct. This is a crab talking to a man. And it's a girl sitting across the room who is not Ariel, who is misconstruing this message. We're just going to read a little bit of it.
It's a child's movie.
There you see her sitting there across the way. She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. And you don't know why, but you dying to try. You want to kiss girl. Like, this is exclusively telling the dude.
You want to kiss the girl. You can want it and you ain't got to go over there and do the shit.
This whole song is telling him to go do it. Yes, you want to look at her. You know you do. It's possible she wants you to. There's one way to ask her. If it don't take a word, not a single word, go on and kiss the girl, kiss the girl. I'm just saying, listen,
I feel like this is grasping at straw.
I'm not making an argument. I'm just saying this is the society we have now. You can make the argument about how it's context, but they cut that song out of their program.
That's so crazy to me.
I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm asking the question. I want if y'all gonna send a letter or write something, how do y'all feel about going back in time and retroactively applying things that may be questionable to what today's standards are? That's just, I don't know. I have no idea if it's right or wrong.
Because old boy that was talking that pedophile shit, that was very concerning. The
Guardians of the Galaxy director.
That shit there, I don't care how long ago. It was so disturbing. Like, I still cringe. Like, oh my God, it was so awful.
What if we found out this song was written by a sexual abuser?
I don't think it matters because the context in which the exists. Because I who knows what a lot of the songwriters that have written songs you love was doing in their personal life. I don't think that what their intention was matters as far as much as it matters how the song was used. The song was used in a Disney cartoon where it was very obvious that he was getting the signals that it was okay to kiss the girl. And I mean, if you pull it out, I'm sure there's a lot of songs from Disney movies you could pull out and it sound concerning if you just take the shit away from the movie and don't include the movie.
But if you apply that logic to James Gunn,
who's James Gunn?
Which is the Guardians of the Galaxy dude that was talking about pedophile stuff. You apply that logic to him, It don't matter how his tweets were used, or it don't matter what his intent of the tweets were, because it don't have nothing to do with making what he made the movie
saying
with.
It was a joke. No. I'm saying this.
Well, what you're saying is, if I asked you if the sexual abuser, if the dude who wrote that song was a sexual abuser, you said it wouldn't make a difference if he was a sexual abuser because what it intended for, the material that it was used for, don't have nothing to do with that.
Yes.
So if James Gunn talking about pedophilia because we found out that that's what he got going on in his life and in his brain, then why would it make a difference for him being a director of Guardians of the Galaxy? I'm just pointing that out to say this is the society we have now. All of them tweets he had them when he made the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know about it.
You know what I'm saying? So it don't make a difference in terms of what they're putting their energy in, but now it's about the social responsibility of the people that is being called into question. I just don't know if this is genuine in terms of changing, or if these are just segues to attack people, smoke and mirrors to get them removed from things that they shouldn't be. I don't know. That's just something I've been thinking about. What you got? Let's shotgun these.
Deontay Wilder.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Deontay Wilder is?
No.
Are you sure?
Okay. What's the character he played in the last movie? Oh, yeah.
To this day.
He a boxer, yeah. I didn't know his name. I just been calling him to this day.
The memes. Because this was just so fucking hilarious. So y'all just heard what he said. To this day, he was doing an interview. So they made a bunch of memes. Like,
you know what the interview was about?
No.
I saw the whole interview.
What
I did
was it
not
about?
know that it was going to this meme is the epitome of taking a strong ass, powerful moment and turning it into dookie. He was talking about, like, he been on this path of talking about how disproportionately that we've been treated. And so a black newscaster said something to the effect of, when you said our people have been treated this way, what do you mean by that? And this is a black dude, and he got mad. He was like, our people been suffering. What have we done for them to hate us? Over history, they done treated us like this, and they still treat us like this. To this day. To this day. To this day. Like, that's the moment. Like, powerful moment. But the internet done took it and turned it into something else.
It's so hard. Like the memes, you still listening to 90s hip hop, R&B, me.
To this day.
Even though you grown, you still afraid of your mama. To this day. Like, all of them are just, you still paying off your student loans. And all of the responses, of course, are to this day. But I'm looking at his face, and so it did make me wonder, like, what he was referring to. 'Cause he's so, like,
he's really passionate about that right now. Like, he all over the place talking about his platform and how it can affect change in terms of the black community. But they take that moment and then meme his ass, and now it don't mean nothing. But that's what memes do. It really means a passionate affirmation of something that you do.
To this day.
The one I posted in our chat group was a girl asking, "Do you still masturbate?" And I was like, "To this day, to this day."
So if you haven't seen that shit, the memes, like, if you want a good laugh, it's. And I feel bad because even as you was explaining it to me, because it's in my mind as a meme now, I'm still laughing.
Yeah, I know it killed it. They got him good, but I like him for what he's doing.
Oh, Jesus. What do you have?
A
What?
Missouri family shocked after mother's suspicious last will leaves everything to pastor. Love everything to this pastor.
So either one or two things. She trying to buy her way into heaven, or she trying to take care of her boo thing after
So,
she ain't here no more.
Let's go through the ups and downs of this story, okay? So they used to go to the church that the pastor pastors. Well, okay, reading this, I'm like, I read the title and I'm like, pastor's a dickhead. Now, don't get me wrong, my church PTSD is in this. So I'm like, oh, let me read the story. Pastor stealing money from the old lady. And then it turns out that he was helping her get her medication, get to her doctor's appointment, everything that her family wasn't doing.
Oh, well, fuck
She
that
had
man.
and she said the reason that she trusted him is because he had a car. So it sounded like the family just didn't have dependable things to help, or either they weren't willing to help.
Well, snooze you lose, niggas.
So she passes away. And they look at the will, and the will don't look like it's written by her. You know, it looked like it's written by the pastor, which I think might be normal if somebody can't write.
Yeah, depending on how bad
Well, a
I
lawyer,
feel.
not a pastor. The pastor said it's written by the lawyer. But then I'm like, okay, so family ain't shit. Pastor ain't, you know what I'm saying? And then it turns out that the family came and took a chair out of her house after she passed away. The pastor said, that's a $25,000 chair. I can have y'all arrested for taking that out of the house. So I'm like, why would he have a $25,000 chair in her house?
It was his chair?
He had been buying everything. He had been paying her bill. He had been taking her money and paying her bills, paying everything, getting her everywhere she need to be.
What the fuck did this old lady do that she had $25,000 for him to go buy a goddamn chair? Like, was she some kind of millionaire?
I do not know. But at the end of the day, like, the pastor is not wavering. I feel like in this situation, she's communicated how problematic her family has been, and they trying to figure out how much they can get out of her after her death. That they playing victim because this is an odd situation. I don't know how to feel though. I don't feel like, you know, it's like a whole pastors organization that says that, I mean, he ain't doing anything like questionable with the church if indeed he's doing what he's supposed to be doing with that money, and indeed that woman did, you know, write that will for everything to go to him, you know, but it's not something that pastors should do, because they just supposed to help navigate spiritual lives and the relationship with God, and they did, like, he done something negative to his neighbors, like to other former members of his church and them kids' mama, you know. But like, I've seen these things go so sour as it pertains to family just trying to get shit because their loved one died, that I don't really know. I would need to know more information about this situation. But yeah, this just triggered my church PTSD, so I had to jump on it. What would you do if you found out that after your mama passed away that there was some mystery pastor that you didn't really know, or maybe a pastor you did know who was like, you know, I ain't talking to you about how much money your mama got. The will she signed was to me.
I'm fighting the shit out of there.
Because that's what he did.
I'll fight. First of all,
nobody has no idea how much money she even had.
Oh, hell no.
He ain't told nobody nothing.
No, I'm fighting the shit out of that. Might fight the pastor. Yeah. Hell no.
That's something my mama might do.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't be
hers
surprised.
would be different because she's been doing that your whole life, though, giving money to churches. So
She also too broke for me to be concerned that it might be a lie. Sorry, mama. She ain't listening though.
Speaking of pastors, Michelle and her pastor are no longer getting married. They're not engaged. They broke up, which I've seen clips of her going to visit his family, and I was fearing for her safety. Like, and I feel like I probably maybe these are very nice people, but they just look like folks that are racist and like probably was like, you gonna bring this nigga around? Like I just feel like that's what it is. So I feel like she's dodged the bullet, and it seems most people feel that way too, because everybody was like, "Whoo, thank God." Like nobody was like, "Oh, they broke up." Everybody that I've seen like commented under pictures and of stories and all of this is like, "Whoo, thank God." Whew, she saved herself.
Yeah.
I think everybody like saw his family and was like, "Oh no, Michelle, no."
Man, if you're a black person dating a white person, you need to you need to vet that person.
Hell, he looked. I thought he was mixed. I really did. He just got really tan skin and he just looked. And he bald, so
he's probably been getting treated like a black man for most of his life.
Probably so, because he looked the part. He looked mixed. So, I just thought I would mention that they're no longer together. Oh, and this is the last thing I have. Because we talking about religion, so I'm 2 nuns allegedly stole $500,000 from California Catholic school and used the money to gamble and take trips. 2 nuns.
2 nuns took the church money to go gamble
and take trips. The Catholic school money. It wasn't church. It was a school.
That ain't worse than having sex with little boys. Tell you
that. But it's still beneath where they're supposed to be. Bank records show Sister Mary Margaret Kruper and Sister Lana Lang of St. James Catholic School in Torrance have been embezzling from the school for at least 10 years while telling parents the school was on a shoestring budget.
How much have they been embezzling? Please tell me they got a number.
$500,000.
The fuck kind of shoestring budget is you talking about?
It's over 10 years though.
The shoestring budget means something different than what it sounds like, because I ain't never heard of that shit.
What is you that you think it sounds like?
I feel like a shoestring budget is like a tiny budget.
It's a little bit of money, yeah. They're telling people that because they taking the money off the top. So by the time they take off their money, it is a shoestring budget. But they was just telling them that like it's just we ain't got a lot of money.
That's $50,000 a year.
Is it 10 years? Yeah.
Damn, that's $25,000 a piece.
Yeah.
And they were just using the gamble and take trips.
Yeah.
They some horrible ass gamblers. They should have been coming up. They could have been investing this shit in something that's gonna let them retire in the nun life.
This the shit I don't like about this Catholic shit when they get to handle shit themselves. The nuns have since expressed remorse, and the archdiocese and the church has said that they're not gonna pursue criminal charges.
Well, I bet they're gonna be taking off the deacons board. They ain't gonna be in the back counting that offering no more.
They're not gonna be in charge of the money no more. But like, what about? See, that's why I don't. Again, because okay, y'all ain't gonna charge them or whatever. But what about the parents? I want to fucking charge them because my child been going to this school eating beans and rice every day because y'all say y'all ain't got no goddamn money. I'm upset as a parent, but I don't get no justice because y'all done decided God forgave them and they did their Hail Marys and shit. Fuck that.
But as a person that's grown up as a Catholic and a person that has sent your children to a Catholic, you buy into the idea that a couple of Hail Marys will fix you so deeply that you'll be fine with that shit. You know, it's a representation of but see, that shit is still only a representation of their salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like if it worked.
These kids been out here with books from the 70s learning history and shit because y'all ain't got no goddamn money because you spending the money and y'all Hail Mary and it's all right. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And were they taking trips in their habits or were they like dressed regular when they taking these trips? Because I can't imagine like nuns in a casino in a habit gambling. Habits are what they wear. I don't know if there's anybody listening that don't know what the name of it is, but the outfit that nuns wear is called a habit. Can you imagine seeing them and rolling the dice on the craps table?
Clearly they don't dress up like they goddamn dress up at the Catholic school.
They shouldn't have no other clothes. Nuns are in habits all the time. They don't wear regular clothes.
Okay, one, they are thieves. Two, they steal money and go fucking gamble. They steal money to take chances that are likely not to turn out in their favor. You think they ain't got some fucking jeans and t-shirts at their house? Talking about some, how you gonna bring up none responsibilities when it come to other clothes they should have?
Well, they keep none stay at the church. They don't have a house. That's what I'm saying. Like, so what they...
They tricking because they got it, okay? If they can get to a casino, they can get to a goddamn, what are old people, thrift store.
Maybe they was packing bags and saying it was our extra habits. and it was actually like regular clothes.
They might have been doing like Spider-Man. They might have a backpack outside of the dumpster 2 blocks over, and they went and go picked up their shit and got on the bus and went to go gamble. Just imagine. All the Catholics in the community would know what they look like. Yeah. They probably had to put on wigs, glasses. Like, they in the casino. I bet they felt protected because they was like, the only Catholics that's going to be in here is us.
Well, I don't even know. You don't see their hair. You don't see nothing but their face with them habits. They just need to put some glasses on because you ain't gonna know what the fuck. You don't even know what their body type is.
So I guess what happened is they wore their nun shit till they got outside of the city, and then they became who they was gonna be.
Just let their hair down because you don't see none of that. You can't even, other than the eyebrows, you don't even know if it's a redhead, a blonde, a brunette. You can't, cause you don't see none of that shit. Like, you just see their face in the habit, in the hats and shit. $500,000 over 10 years, and they ain't got no bills and no shit like this. So like $25,000 is a lot when you ain't got to pay shit. Like $25,000 when you got bills and you got rent and mortgage and shit is nothing. But $25,000 when you live at the church and they feed you and shit, and you don't have to. They don't pay for shit as a nun. It's just balling with $25,000.
Do you know who B. Smith is?
B. Smith? No.
Former restaurateur, model, and lifestyle expert B. Smith has been struggling with early onset Alzheimer's since her diagnosis in 2013.
Damn.
But now fans are shocked to find out that her devoted husband has allegedly been showing off his new girlfriend despite the couple still living together.
Oh, he is a whole asshole for that.
His name is Dan Gatsby.
Dan can go to hell. Dan, you wrong.
No, his name is not Dan Gatsby.
Who is Dan Gatsby?
Wait a minute. It is Dan Gatsby.
Great Gatsby.
Gatsby. It's Dan Gatsby. No T in it.
Oh, I was supposed to say it's like the Great Gatsby. That's fucked up because he can get away with it because she got early onset, so she probably don't know who the fuck he is anyway.
So he posted a picture of the blonde woman with the caption, "To steal the title from 50 Cent and the game, hate it or love it. You can debate, but for me, I'm just feeling great. Life's too short to ask for a rebate, so I'm just going to surf through life before it's too late."
Dad has got a one-way ticket to hell as soon as he die.
So
that is so fucked up.
What do you think life would look like for you if you... So I was working with some kids, and we played an ungame, and a question came up. The question was, I might say this on podcast before, but the question was, what's the worst thing that can happen to somebody that you love? And I thought about my mama, and I thought about death, and I was like, death ain't necessarily the worst thing that can happen to my mama. My mama she been preparing for death for some time.
It's the worst thing that can happen to you. Death hurts us that's living. It don't hurt the person that dies.
From my perspective, death ain't even new.
Oh.
I think if my mom died, my whole life, she been doing what it take to get to whatever paradise it's supposed to be waiting for her after that shit. I hope it's real for her, but I hope it's not real for me. So I think it being not real for me, everybody wins. It just comes out as like wasted effort for her. But if it's real for her, then I'm fucked up. So, that's neither here nor there. But in my head, the worst thing that could happen to my mama was dementia.
Yeah.
Like, to her, for me, and probably for her too.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that can happen. Like, I do not even want the illusion of somebody that I care about, especially my mama, like, forgetting me.
Yeah.
That would be the most fucked up thing. So it made me wonder, if I had a mate that was going through early onset Alzheimer's, like, what? That'll be some fucked up shit.
Have you ever seen The Notebook? You're
No.
a dude, so I figured not. So women that are listening probably have. If you haven't, The Notebook is a movie. What is that nigga's name? White guy. Anyhow. Anyway.
Matthew, no.
Nope.
He played Driver.
Yes. Can't think of his name.
He's forgettable.
Yes. But anyway, so the movie is about how it's their love story where it starts off with this old couple. They're both in this like assisted living kind of place, and the lady doesn't really remember where she is or any of that. And so he starts telling her a story to kind of get her to calm down because she, sometimes when she's confused, she gets upset. And so he's telling her this story about this couple that went through all of this shit to get together, but in the end, they ended up together. What you find out at the end of the movie is that they are the couple. She has dementia, and so she forgets him. She forgets the kids, but every now and then, she'll have moments where she remembers. And so he does this just for those moments. He don't even have to be at the assisted living place. He moved in there so he could be with her after she had to move in there because of it. And the end is not realistic because they end up dying together I guess that could happen, but it's like, what are the odds? But for him, his way of dealing with her forgetting was to just keep reminding her until he got those. He kind of held on to those moments of clarity that she did have, because like the kids would come and she wouldn't know who the kids were, and the kids were like, Dad, like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? She don't know who you are most of the time. And he was like, but those moments when she do. It's a good movie. It's one of the I ain't really no chick flick kind of girl, but that shit there.
That shit sounds sad as fuck.
It is.
I don't want to watch that.
But it's so sweet that he was willing to because listen, that she was like had a rich family and he was like this poor ass dude, and so her parents, her mom did not want her to get with him, and they met over like a summer. And so they ended up getting split up because her mom wouldn't allow them to be together. He wrote her a letter every day for 365 days, and her mom didn't give them to her, but she kept them. And so like when they reconnect, because she was finna marry somebody else, and she couldn't, I think she saw he had built a house that he told her he was gonna build in like a newspaper, and so she wanted to go see him before she got married, and that's how she ended up staying with him. But it's just a really like the lengths that he was willing to go to, which is the complete opposite of Dan bitch ass. He waited for those moments of clarity, because sometimes they do. It's as it gets worse, they're few and far in between, but sometimes they do recognize who you are. And my great grandmother was like that. Like sometimes she didn't really know us because we were so little, but like my mom, sometimes we would go visit her and she would have no fucking idea who anybody was, and then every now and then we would go and she would recognize folks and be telling stories. You know what I'm saying? And so they held on to those. So I think that's what you have to do. I wouldn't leave my husband. I definitely wouldn't go fucking get him a replacement while I'm still with the nigga. That's just rude as fuck.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So anybody who's seen The Notebook already done had this inner dialogue with themselves and the ability to think about this.
Because the movie
first
makes
time
you.
I'm coming to it. I didn't know it was.
Yeah, if anybody that's watched The Notebook has had to think about what they would do if that happened to their spouse, because that's all the movie is about.
We're at 2 hours. You got anything else important that you want to throw out there before we roll out?
No.
I had woman killed after giving money to lady holding help me feed my baby sign.
Damn. That's why I don't help these folks. You never know.
And I'm almost. And Lena Dunham, being a dickhead
fat
again.
Ass bitch.
Yeah.
She
is the worst.
She's the fucking worst.
What did I read? I read a tweet that said Lena Dunham is the Kanye West of feminism.
Yes.
Basically.
Accurate.
Like
Fuck
she
her.
just a traitor
Mm-hmm.
for the movement.
Ugh.
Basically, a black rape accuser was completely discredited, and then she came out to say,
I saw that shit.
All
Fuck
the
her.
stuff I said wasn't true about that person lying." So,
Bitch, fuck you.
Lena, you got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
I do. Black Panther, Avengers.
Oh yes.
So, did you see the trailer? Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm. I did.
What we learned in Avengers Endgame is that Shuri, she got lost in the snap too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sad. I was hoping that Shuri was chilling somewhere. And I hated that.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for the movie.
I'm ready for that.
I have no idea how this shit gonna resolve itself.
I'm actually really ready for the live action Lion King. Cause did you see Jungle Book?
Nope.
It was okay.
I know Jon Favreau did it, so I know he's. You
It
know
was
Jon
pretty-
Favreau?
Mm-mm. But the
Jon
movie was
Favreau
good.
played Iron Man security guard.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
The big dude. He always in a little silly scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jon Favreau. He redid Jungle
Book.
Book, and he's redoing Lion King.
Like they got Beyonce and James Earl Jones is going to continue to do Mufasa. Who the fuck else could do Mufasa's voice? Like nobody could do that. No, I can't. I wouldn't.
I don't
accept
see
it.
how Beyonce really gonna be Nala.
What do you mean?
Her voice so deep for a woman.
I mean, she gonna probably change it. Maybe she's never done any voiceovers, right? As
Why
far as
would it be Beyonce if they gonna change her voice to not sound like Beyonce?
her singing voice might be the same, but her talking voice can't be the same because it's too fucking deep. They got her for her singing voice. It is not for her talking voice. 'Cause her talking voice deep as fuck.
Yeah, Lion King is midnight release material for me.
Yes, I'm going.
I bet that shit gonna be so dark.
Have you seen the cub? I'ma
Yeah.
cry. Like I almost cried at the cartoon version of Simba when his dad died. That little fuzzy ass, cute ass little lion when he's crying about his dad. The heartache, the pain. Dad, get up. When that little cute ass fuzzy lion.
They redoing all these Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbo, Mary Poppins.
Little Mermaid's gonna get a live
Damn.
action. Yeah.
Well, times are changing. Anyway, until we come to the next conversation,
We out.
holla.